Greetings and welcome to another episode of Boldness with Fred and Tombi. I must take this opportunity to thank everybody for the overwhelming support that we have received.
Yeah, on the socials, Instagram, there's been a lot of, a lot of activity happening there. We're seeing numbers. People are posting our posts on our official podcast page. And also we're seeing a lot of downloads on our website. We're seeing a lot of numbers on YouTube. So thank you for the support so far. Subscribe to our YouTube channel and also repost and share whatever we have to share with you guys.
And in this episode, it's interesting. We're joined by a guest. We have Mufasa on this episode. Mufasa, welcome to our program.
Thank you. It feels good to be here.
Yes, it's good to have you. So Mufasa is an interesting individual, and he's made quite an impact in his field of marketing. And so I've actually known him for about 2 years now. We met on a project, and we've been friends ever since. Right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yes.
It's been an amazing journey.
It's been awesome. Nothing but awesomeness. So so it's a pleasure again to have you on our program. But the audience is interested to know, who is Mufasa?
Right, Mufasa. Mufasa is Steve Brad Mwemba.
Yeah.
Yes.
So, Tonga.
Nkoeri. Nkoeri.
Ah, cool, bro.
Of course, I do speak Tonga.
Okay.
I am actually a Tonga man. Mm-hmm. Yes, my father is a Tonga man. So, Steve Brad Mwemba.
No, like,
Jilozi.
you need to have a full beard, bro. Oh, by the way, for people that don't know what Jilozo is a beard, like, you get what I'm trying to say?
Yeah.
Mufasa, like, the king of the jungle always has to have a full beard, but come on.
But then, you know the beauty about that, like, if all of your subjects have the beards, why should you have them?
I see what you're trying to do.
That's
Exactly.
That's
how
very
did the
interesting.
name Mufasa come about?
Right, that name came up because of the voice. That's number one.
Okay.
Yep, and number two, well, I love lions. So.
When you walk into a room, the first thing that we hear is your voice, and you're so
Exactly.
commanding, and you have to look and say, "Who is that?"
Yep, happens all the time.
All the time, right?
Babies cry, mothers smile.
The first time I saw you, I was like, this guy does he speak like this or what? Shit, like,
Yeah, he did
does
ask me.
command.
He did ask me. Fred did ask me, like, does he normally? Is that his normal voice?
Really?
Yeah.
People think that all the
Yes.
time, but then eventually it grows on you. You just be like,
It
okay,
does.
it's like that.
Okay.
Yeah.
So tell us, are you originally from Lusaka? Where did you grow up from?
Right, okay. Born and bred right here in Lusaka, Zambia. Then at a young age, relocated to Livingstone. Then from there, did my senior high from there.
Okay.
Yes. Then after that, it's been South Africa, Zambia, and
Ah,
yeah.
I see. Awesome.
Fast forward, here we are.
Awesome.
Wow.
Great.
I know I did a huge skip, but that is me.
Okay.
That is
Tell us
you.
about your childhood, your educational background. Since
Okay.
you've given us a bit of a brief childhood background and where you're at right now. So would want to know your educational background.
Okay.
I hope
So
this doesn't feel like an interview. Sorry to cut you short.
of course not. It doesn't. It doesn't. It actually feels like a conversation that we'll probably have on a normal date.
Right. We're just
Exactly.
trying to get to know you
Yeah, of
and
course.
bring the viewers in along with us.
All right.
Uh-huh.
So, education background. As mentioned, my junior and senior high happened in Livingstone.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Graduated from David Livingstone High School itself. And then after that, I went to my first college where I had.
Sorry to cut you short. So you're Wala Mano.
Nkoeri.
I see. For people that don't know Mano, it means you're knowledgeable. Like, I know David Livingstone has produced like one of the top pupils or students out there to go in the universities.
I was actually head boy. So,
Nice.
That boy in the
dope.
building.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow, good.
So,
Yeah.
as I was saying, I did my junior and senior high in Livingstone.
Uh-huh.
And after that, I did my first college. That's ABE.
Okay.
That's in Ndola.
Okay.
Yeah, from there is where I got my first paper. After that, UNZA.
Yes. Okay.
UNZA, that's financial audit.
Wow.
Okay.
Then yes, after that I had to join Zika because you cannot really do certain practices without getting some form of affiliation.
Yes, you have to be affiliated and accredited, of
Yes.
course.
Yes.
Exactly.
Great.
Okay.
Then after that, yeah, back to UNZA again,
Okay.
marketing.
Uh-huh.
Now here's the thing. After my college, I started working. So all of the papers I got after that, I was getting all of those things while I was working.
While you were
Okay.
working,
Yes,
okay.
because there's no time. The world moves really, really fast.
Obviously, and we
Really?
need money.
Trust me, we do.
Yes, my God.
So
Okay.
that's my my brief educational,
educational background,
Yeah,
okay.
I know I've said it in a very unusual way,
Uh-huh.
but I think it's
I think it's very clear. We've
Yes.
got
Yeah.
we've got a proper understanding
okay.
of your educational background, and it's interesting. But I think that a lot of the female viewers now want to know, like, are you married? Are you seeing someone?
I'm not married.
Okay.
There's a beautiful woman.
All
Somewhere.
right. He's taken, guys. He's taken. He's so taken.
Here's your doubt.
Somebody told me the only person who's gonna win is the lady that you put a ring on.
On. Ooh,
You have a point.
ooh.
So
You
yeah,
have a
bruh.
point.
That's
Ladies
that's
still
nice.
have the chance. Oh, anyway, I'm not promoting infidelity, but bruh.
I like that.
Oh,
I like
wow.
that.
Yes.
I love that disclaimer.
Yeah. So why marketing, bro? Like.
Yes.
uh,
Why marketing? What is there like a family inclination to marketing? Is there somebody in your family who you look up to and said, "Oh, I like what he's done with his life and his career choice, so I want to be like him." So how did you decide to go for marketing?
Okay, marketing. I love to create things. I love to make things. I am a very expressive human being.
Okay.
Yes, in some ways, of course. Now, marketing. How I actually found myself doing marketing, believe it or not, was through somebody at work, former boss, that just made me start doing it. My initial position when I started working was actually a different one. It wasn't even in marketing. No, it
We
was
talked
not.
about finance,
Yes, there was that.
Uh-huh.
And also I had to apply for a position.
business management.
There was that too.
Yes.
But then, can you guess my first position? Just wild guess. I mean, now, of course, I'm known for the marketing. That's
Yes.
me now. It's in my blood. But can you guess what my first position was?
I guess I don't know, management.
Management level.
Somewhere there. I was actually a hired trainer.
Nice.
You were, but that's like those are two different worlds,
Yes,
right?
yes.
It's like you're training and then you're over here marketing
Yes.
and promoting stuff.
But then the crazy part is you're training people on how to sell, how to speak,
How to,
the overall
How
etiquette.
to package.
Yes,
how
everything.
to package things.
True. Then eventually I found myself on the marketing side because there was no marketing person. And that's when I actually discovered to say, I love to create and I like to, put things in a certain way, because you'd find yourself maybe making promotional plans without knowing to say you're actually jumping into marketing.
Right.
And roles simply switched and it's been flowers since then.
Wow.
Yeah.
Nice. So I know for marketing, well, before I even ask the next question, right, I want the audience, or mostly parents that are probably watching this, to also like have a feel and fully understand what marketing is, because I know parents don't even really consider marketing as one of the top courses, like probably in our country, right?
Yes, because
So-
mostly, it's either doctor, pilot,
Lots,
lawyer.
lawyers,
This is what
yes.
parents want their children to be. But
That stuff.
Yeah.
and yes,
That's
it is
crazy.
very tough. Yes, yes.
That's wild. Well, they're really missing out because I think marketing now is very, very important.
I think in the age of social media, in the age of a lot of companies leveraging social media and
Media.
online, they
Yes.
definitely need to market, and I think businesses are much more easier to run nowadays with a proper marketing campaign online with that leverage that has come up now.
Definitely, because for you to make money, you must market.
You must market. People must
And
know
sell
what
a
you're
product.
offering.
Yes. Your sales department will
Yes.
not make any money. without marketing. So
Yeah.
you need it. It's vital right now.
For a company to
Yes.
run, there needs to be money, and money comes from marketing.
Of
course. Exactly.
I had an interesting conversation a few years ago where somebody described marketing as like, look, people who deal with marketing, for you to know that they're good at what they do, they need to be in a situation where like they can sell you sand in a desert. Like for you to be a good marketeer, a person who's in charge of marketing, you should be in a
What did you
position.
say?
Yeah,
Sell your
good
sand.
marketeer. Yeah, they should be able to kind of sell your sand in a desert. Like there's plenty of sand there, but they're so good. They can convince you to buy sand in a desert, and you'll be like, wow, he knows his job. He knows where it's
Of
coming
course.
from.
Actually, that expression is very true.
It's very
Uh-huh.
true,
Because
right?
the marketing profession itself or the industry now is highly competitive.
Competitive.
So when someone says you should be able to sell sand in a desert, that is true. You should also be able to sell ice in the winter.
In the winter.
Yeah, I'm starting to quote Jay-Z now.
Yes.
but
Yes,
either
because
way,
like
My
seasons
favorite
are
artist at the current
changing.
me
moment.
too.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Well, sorry to interrupt you.
Yes, go ahead.
So since you said you're able to sell sand like in the desert, right? So I want to know what projects, like what makes you stand out, what makes you stand out.
Yes.
Like what projects have your name to it, you know, like you can
Okay.
answer that.
Yeah.
Right. So I'm sure most of, I'll start with the two of you. You've driven around town today, right?
Yes,
Yeah.
yes,
Yeah.
So
yes.
my last project with Techno was me branding the tallest building in the country right now.
Oh yes.
So-
What's that? Findical?
Yes,
Syndical
exactly.
House.
And what's
Okay.
Techno for viewers that don't know or listeners out there that are gonna listen?
It's actually an international premium phone brand.
Yeah,
Uh-huh.
it's a smartphone brand.
Yes, it's a smartphone brand.
Awesome.
So now, progression, career progression, since we're talking about things that have got my name on it,
Yes.
Techno is actually a business unit of Transsion Holdings. Transsion Holdings is the mother company of Techno, ITEL, Infinix, Orion.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so before I left, we actually started doing marketing for cross brands. It's where now you're looking at multiple brands. So if you actually check my social media, you will discover I appear in multiple brand launches or branding activity now
Okay.
because of the work or the scope of work that had changed.
Yes.
Right.
And fast forward, looking at where I am now, there is a whole lot of work. So we're not just looking at Techno, ITO, Infinix only now. There's other brands too and other companies that are involved. Yes, so there's quite a number of them.
Okay.
AgroChamp, Mobile Champion, etc., etc.
Nice. And sorry to interrupt you, but I also just want to say that to our audience that Mufasa is actually also a voiceover artist, and you've done quite a number of campaigns as well, right? Could you tell us
Yes.
about that, about your voiceover career?
Okay, voiceover career.
Yes.
Let me mention one of my favorite projects. It's it's the one that's got Chris Evans on it.
Oh, nice.
Yes, aka Captain America.
Captain.
Nice.
Yes,
You're
so
international like that.
International, bro.
well,
We have an international person
International
on the
star in the
Boldness
building.
Podcast.
I'm talking about impact,
you know what
okay?
it is. You know what it is.
Yeah,
Okay.
bro.
So that one is one of my favorites. You know,
Yeah.
it's where there was the global collaboration,
Okay.
and you had to make sure content that you put out is number one, receptive to the local market and the international market, mature markets and new markets as well.
Awesome.
So with that said,
Yes.
that is the one, followed by the Phantom projects as well.
I think I remember
Phantom
those.
is what?
Yes, Phantom
It's a
X.
phone.
It's
It's
a
a
phone.
phone.
Yeah,
Yes,
phone.
it's
Okay.
a
Is it a technophone?
technophone.
Yes.
Yes, yes,
Ah,
yes.
awesome.
It
Okay.
is.
Yes.
Yeah, away from that,
is that
there's-
the project that you did with Michi? I think there was a kind of an exchange, a dialogue kind of thing.
That one is the Come On 18.
Ah,
So my-
still
yeah.
that was a good one. I remember that.
Yeah. So we actually
that
started with Come
campaign.
On 18.
Wait, you guys, let me tell you something. I'm gonna, like, you know.
Sure.
Well, I'm doing this live on camera, but
Please go
I
ahead.
stalked both of you on your social media. I saw you worked on a project together. Can you please tell me a little bit about that? You guys,
We can't. Sorry, can I just say that if anything, that project we did that 2 years ago.
Yep.
And we were promoting an item, right? We were promoting an item, and we actually didn't get to drop it, but we could drop it in a few weeks
Yeah.
if we just like
Yeah.
Okay.
If
A little
we
bit of a
decide,
throwback. If we decide.
a little bit of a throwback.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah. Yes.
Okay, great. I mean,
Yeah. I mean, what better way? What better way to make money than just like monetize your voice?
Exactly.
Can you believe that? I think that's incredible because, which leads me to the next thing. Have you ever sung in a choir?
Yes,
I follow
actually.
you on TikTok and I see that you kind of do this. You know, like you do those
Duets.
stitches,
Duet.
duets,
Yeah, yeah.
and I'm just like, that's a deep voice.
Yes, ma'am. It is.
That's quite deep.
I'm actually a bass singer. I do have a little bit of musical background as well. Yeah.
You have a musical background.
Yes.
You
I've-
sang in church.
Yes, I did. Sang
And
in
what
church.
is this?
SDA.
SD. We
Everybody
said,
was probably
guys,
gonna
this
scream
is all
SDA.
Yeah, like we're
Yeah.
all SDA here, and
Come
I'm
on.
happy to know that. And I'm happy that the viewers can know that
Of
because
course.
can I tell you an interesting fact is that a lot of these actually Zambian artists who are big now
Oh, that's where they're
have a
from.
background in singing, have a musical background of singing in church.
that's not. Oh,
And,
yeah,
and,
but you're right.
it's interesting how the SDA just does that. Like, you know, you grow up in worship and in music, and you develop. You discover you've got a good voice, and people compliment you, and you, well, you know what? Let me monetize this,
Yep.
make money, and do voiceovers.
Take it
And
further.
it's a whole
Take it
career.
further.
Take it further.
And it's a whole career of voiceovers and whatnot.
I actually got to know that you do voiceovers. Well, I've been seeing your socials bad. You know, I had a bit of doubt. But today when I was dropping you the location of where we're coming to shoot, I saw like, you know, your WhatsApp brought the services that you provide. I was like, voiceover. I was like, okay, cool, I'll take advantage. So maybe later on or now you can do a bit of a voiceover for the podcast. Just a
Of
brief
course.
one. Like, you know,
like,
What,
boom,
what would you like me to
this
say?
is,
anything, bro.
well,
anything.
I don't know. Well, something
Anything.
like, for example, Mufasa, like, welcome to boldness. I don't know. This is boldness with Fred and Tombi. Welcome back on boldness with Fred. I don't know.
Welcome.
Previously.
Previously. Anything. Like your voice should be like, welcome
Previously.
to Bonus and Fred and Tombi.
All
A
right,
podcast
Okay.
to enlighten the young youths of
Yeah.
Zambia. Something like that, bro. Like, anyway, I'm just speaking out the top of my mind, but anyway, please.
So those are
Okay.
actually called taglines and whatnot.
Taglines. That's
Yeah.
what we want.
So,
Educate
yeah.
I could
us.
probably keep it simple, like this is boldness with Fred and Ntombi.
Yes.
Something like that. But it depends on the mood, the ambience that you're trying to set. So it's still cool.
Okay,
No,
but
that's
now
great. That's
I want to know. Please tell us, like, what's in it for you in the next 10 years? Where do you see yourself taking this career?
All right.
What do you see yourself offering Zambia
All
and
right.
the world?
And the
Not to
world.
limit yourself, but what do you see for yourself in the next 10 years?
All right. I'm going to use three phases: self, nation, and the world. Self, by then I should have reached the peak of my hierarchy of needs.
Okay.
Remember Maslow's hierarchy of needs?
Yes.
I should reach my self-actualization point. Then, nation, the biggest marketing person ever to
you
exist.
Are you
So,
looking at having the biggest agency? Or
Yes.
just your brand name as you, as Mufasa or Brad Mwemba?
and it's not just me, it's
Yes.
my entire network.
Exactly.
And, you know,
Sorry,
we're looking
I'm
at
having trouble with the connection. Please try again in a moment.
Sorry, guys.
Come on,
It
that's so-
happens.
What was that?
It was Siri. Come on.
Yeah.
Of course.
Okay, so
Jealous
you
Siri.
were saying,
Jealous
sorry
Siri.
about
So,
that.
yeah.
Let's
Sorry about that.
continue.
on the national level, the biggest marketing agency ever to exist in the history of this country. Yes, me.
Right.
You see that.
Yes.
World level,
Mark this day, guys.
oh, market.
At
And
least they've seen the face. When
course.
they see your face, they'll be like, oh, we saw on the Bonus
No, I mean,
podcast.
no.
No, I mean,
No, I mean,
guys.
It's like we were there from
Yes.
From the
somewhere.
jump.
We saw him from somewhere. We know that guy.
and global level, definitely the marketing that's going to be happening in Zambia will be felt. Because
Okay.
there's young minds that exist, you know, young minds doing these things
Yes.
now. I'm not saying I'm the best now, but trust me, then, yeah, it will be felt.
Confidence.
It will be felt
you know,
more of
we
your
need- we
impact
need-
to be felt.
We need the confidence. That's nice. I love individuals or youths that are so confident in the things that they do for themselves, firstly. And I like that. I'm glad you could share a bit of that with us. you know.
Hold on, sorry to interrupt you. Personally, I'm just very thrilled with what you've just said, and I think that the future for you is very bright now more than ever in the age of social media and internet. And I just think that the future is very bright for you, and I wish you the best. And I believe that
We wish you all the best, bro.
What you can do all that you need to do if you put your mind. Yes, we wish you all the best.
So, Mufasa,
Yeah.
tell us a bit about your... No, like I would want to know the advice that you would want to give to, say, people trying to pursue, or any advice that you're trying to give to people pursuing marketing. Maybe say like a Pew who's in like his 8th grade
Okay.
and wants to build his career in marketing. So maybe,
Okay.
and any other advice that you'd even give individuals that are probably in higher learning institution, in university, and stuff like that.
Okay. So I'll put it in 3 layers again. The one that's in high school, the one that's in college, and the one that's just starting their career.
Yes.
So the one that's in high school, if you are thinking of pursuing marketing, you have made a very, very wise decision.
Okay.
And also simply ask yourself, is this something that you want to do? And keep going. It is a very highly lucrative profession. Away from that, it also allows you to be authentic. It allows you to be yourself. It does not allow you to do a copy and paste situation because people will see it. You will see it too, to say you're not being true to yourself. And looking at the market right now, it is one of the most happening professions.
Do you wear suit and ties? Sorry, I'm just...
Not all the time. Not all the time. Marketing allows you to blend in. Actually, the best marketers, which happen to be one of them, of course, so the best marketers understand to say you need to speak accordingly. You must understand who you're talking to, you must understand where you're going, and you must take the form or the shape that complements. Yes, exactly. Read the room. So marketing allows you to do that. It allows you to be yourself. It allows you to simply be the best version of yourself. And to the person that's actually beginning their marketing career, keep going. In fact, the environment is even becoming more and more receptive to new ideas. All of the old ideas are actually phasing out. Now it's time for new ideas, new minds, etc., etc. So the future really, really looks great for marketing.
Nice.
So Fred, on this episode of boldness, what bold information do you want to share in the lines of finance? Finance to our listeners and our audience.
I was looking at the financial calendar to see what like financial advice I could give, right?
Yes.
So I couldn't find anything related to finance like in Zambia, but I'm gonna say I found something interesting that I feel everybody should know. Financial literacy, it's a hot topic that's happening everywhere right now.
Okay.
It's been introduced in schools. So I'm just gonna share a bit about what it is. So November is Financial Literacy Month in Canada.
Okay.
And we have our Financial Literacy Week here in Zambia that was set by the Bank of Zambia on the 20th of April to the 26th of April. So I'm just gonna break down what financial literacy is in layman's, so that anybody can understand, right?
Right.
So financial literacy in simple terms is making wise decisions with your money. So that includes looking at your personal financial management, that looks at investing, that looks at budgeting, that also looks at debt management.
Yes.
So that's all I would
So
prepare.
budgeting, debt management, and what?
Investing.
And investing.
Yes.
So with these 3 components, you come up with what empowers you to have financial literacy, right?
Yes, please.
Okay.
Yes, and also.
So are there any books that you can? How can I get financial literate? How can I get? Let's say, for example, because for me, even just in my career when I teach, I like to come up with scenarios. So, so like for example, if I am I own a kiosk at Manderhill, and my business is doing well, so I'm comfortable. I'm bringing in stock is selling, I've got a profit, I've employed one person. What do I need to achieve financial literacy?
I would say guidance, So speak guidance on 2 levels. One, yourself, personal. You can invest in like finance books. You can watch videos.
Finance books, for example.
I'll give you a simple book that everyone I feel knows. Rich Dad, Poor Dad.
Rich Dad, Poor Dad.
Yeah, so I think for beginners, people can read that. And also maybe the Cash Flow Quadrant.
Okay.
That was also by the same writer, Robert Kiyosaki.
Okay.
I hope I'm mentioning his name right. Yeah. So
We're Zambians, please.
I'm excused. I
Yes.
said Believement. Did you see that Believement thing by?
Oh no!
Okay. You just had to go there, huh?
He just-
You just had to go
Anyway,
there.
but
We're Zambians.
we're Zambians, guys.
English
come
came on our boat.
Exactly.
It's okay.
It's okay.
Straight to
trends.
the terrier.
Trends.
Please go
So
on.
yeah, so I feel like mostly yes, there's that book Rich Dad Poor Dad, and there's a Cash Flow Quadrant. But I'd also encourage people to start reading the Cash Flow Quadrant. So it explains about how people view finance and their finance decision, because they'll get to understand which quadrant they are in. By quadrant, I mean they're like four
categories.
They're categories.
4 categories and
Yes, 4 categories. There's the employer side.
yes.
There's a small business side.
Right.
There's a big business side.
Okay.
And there's an investor. So everybody, those
Belongs
categories.
to a category. So for me, for example, I'm a small business.
Nope. I would say you're an employer.
I'm a
in this.
small business. I have a kiosk at Mandahill.
Okay, cool. If you're putting in that
I'm in the
aspect.
scene. I'm still playing roles here.
He just jumped in. He's like, no.
He's like, no, you're a civil servant. You're a doctor.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
You're a civil servant. You're a doctor. Oh, okay.
Okay.
Let's work around the idea that
Okay.
I have a kiosk at Mandahill.
Speaking of ideas,
Yes.
speaking of ideas, you know, when you get to do your marketing, you must also understand that proper marketing does not happen without proper financing.
Financing, yes.
And proper
Yes.
financing, again, depends on proper finance literacy.
Literacy,
Yes.
exactly.
Proper
Because, yes, you must
planning.
plan, you must budget, you must
Exactly.
come up with all
You
of those
must
ratios.
invest.
Yeah, exactly.
Call to action on how you're going to carry out your
Yeah,
marketing
exactly.
Right.
But hey, away from the marketing, back to the kiosk owner.
plan. Okay, cool. So as I said, you can learn financial literacy probably in 2 ways. You invest in yourself, get to learn about finance, get to learn by reading. I've shared 2 books at least.
Yes.
And also you could also learn
Watch podcasts
watch
online.
yes, like this same podcast
Okay.
that we're doing. And also you can hire a licensed financial advisor
Yeah. Okay.
to come and
I
manage
know in
your
the
book.
Western world, it's a huge thing. It's
a
part of
big
the budget.
business.
So every
Yes.
company they do
Yes.
have they accommodate finance advisors.
Even just in South Africa, the last time I was there, probably I was like 2015. It was so strange because the neighborhood I was living in
Right.
was somewhere in Santon, but they had a lot of like
Financial
posters,
small firms,
small firms. Yeah, we
it's
don't have
this is
that
what I was
here.
saying. This
you
is what I
know?
was saying. Like in developed countries, it's a norm. There's budgets. Like every year,
Yes.
they know that this department requires this.
Exactly.
We need a person to come in and assess our work and this and this and that.
Yeah.
No, you're looking at the scarcity of that particular profession. Here, it's the same thing with marketing too.
Yeah.
There's very few agencies or firms that exist now to actually help these various
These
corporates
various
and
businesses.
businesses in order for them
SMEs
to
actually.
exactly
SMEs.
exactly
Let's focus on SMEs because
Exactly.
SMEs need these people.
yes.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter, you know.
It doesn't matter the
For
size.
It
me,
doesn't
I
matter
think,
the size.
Yeah. 'Cause for me,
Everybody
I
needs
think-
it.
Yes, 'cause I think for me the one marketing firm I guess company that deals with marketing, branding and stuff. I know the Ad Store. Do you know it?
Yes,
Yes.
really
The
that
Ad
one.
Store. Yeah, they actually I've seen them do quite a few projects.
And I also know
few.
Blink Marketing.
Yes,
Blink Marketing.
yes.
I'm mentioning these guys for free.
That's actually one of my favorite agencies.
Yeah.
Yeah, those guys have got a youthful group. I
Shout
see
outs to
them.
my boy.
Yeah,
Yeah.
awesome.
Yes.
So anyway, too much about finance. I want to ask about what I've been seeing on Facebook actually. Too much of anthrax. What's anthrax?
Hey.
Since still another doctor,
Hey.
pano. I mean, come on, I'm a
The
doctor.
pictures.
Yeah.
The
Like,
pictures.
the pictures.
But you've seen the pictures, right?
Yes.
Very scary
Oh
stuff.
man, that's
Very
just-
scary
Some
stuff.
pictures have been quite graphic, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So in the
Do you see
WhatsApp
that every
groups-
day though?
I don't see that every day, but ever since the outbreak started, I've seen at least 2 cases at the facility where I work. And I think so it's interesting for us to speak about it so that we can raise awareness and so that people can get reminded of what this thing is and just so that they can look after themselves. So yeah, anthrax basically is it's an ancient, it's an ancient infectious disease that's been around since as far back as the 1700s.
Really?
And also we have yes, as far back as the 1700s, and there's literature that confirms that it's been used in bioterrorism as a bio weapon in terrorism.
Wow.
Where they just use this the bacteria to poison
Infect
and
poison
create
people.
a whole warfare. Yes. Yeah, so but what it is basically is just an infectious disease that is caused by a bacteria called Bacillus anthracis.
I'm sorry,
And,
could you say that again?
Bacillus anthracis.
That's a bacteria or what?
It is a bacteria. It's a spore-forming bacteria. So it exists in the environment in its dormant state. But when it gets into nutritious environments, like in the water, like in ponds, and in livestock, and in human beings, it germinates and causes infection. So, like now, the mechanism of infection in human beings is that, for example, if an animal out in the world drinks from contaminated water or eats from pastures that is contaminated by this germ, what happens is that once it gets into the animal, it finds the environment very favorable and it germinates and starts to reproduce and form the bacteria.
Does it
and
cause
human
pores
beings.
also? In
I
an
beg your
animal?
pardon?
Does it cause pores? Like you said, it's a
Yes,
pore.
it does have because that's I'll get to that in a
Okay.
little bit. So and now for human beings, when you consume this infected meat, you touch it with your hands, and when you go in this area where the germs are, where there's an outbreak, and you happen to inhale this contaminated air, whether via dust, and you inhale this contaminated air, you get the infection.
So it's that's crazy. That's
Yes,
scary.
and what's interesting is that you can't get it from a person to person, but you can get it from
the
an
environment?
infected an infected
Animal.
an infected animal. So it
Okay.
could be a goat consuming goat meat that is infected, consuming cattle meat that is infected. Even sheep has also been known to carry this pork as well has also
Okay.
been known to carry this infectious disease. So now when it comes to like anthrax itself, there's 3 forms that you need to orient yourself around. So it's
Yes.
like there's a cutaneous form, the one that you've seen pictures of, and there's also the inhalational form that will cause you some respiratory symptoms. And then finally, there's also the gastrointestinal form of the disease. So very quickly, when we speak about cutaneous infection, is where you see the
What's cutaneous? Please use
the
simple
skin,
language.
the infection of the skin, where you come to notice that it starts off as a pimple and then it itches, and a few days after the first time you see it, the center becomes dark.
Okay.
And what's interesting that you need to know about anthrax on the skin is that it doesn't pain. So in this time of an outbreak, someone can say, "Ooh,
Yes,
anthrax.
yeah,
What is this?" It's itch, it's painful, but with anthrax, it doesn't pain. It does itch, you will scratch, but it doesn't pain. The lesions
Okay.
of the skin doesn't pain.
Okay.
So that's a very good distinction. So you get that lesion on the skin, and even the lymph nodes that are around that area do get an active infection, and they get big, and you can actually feel them on the skin. So then there's also the inhalation, where when you inhale the spores, they go into your lungs. They bring about symptoms like in the first few days you'll have fever, non-specific symptoms like fever, and you're coughing. And then after a while, like after 1 or 2 months, the infection gets severe, that you start coughing blood.
Yes.
You start having difficulties breathing. You continue to deteriorate, and the fevers continue to get high and higher, such that in a period of 48 hours, there's a high mortality rate. So a lot of patients who
Mortality
get the
is death rate?
so a lot of
Okay.
patients who get the inhalational form, it just so happens that in the first few days, which by the way, the incubation is 1 to 7 days.
Okay.
So in the first few days, they'll just feel a fever, they're coughing, they maybe even be sneezing, they have a headache, and they won't suspect that this is anthrax. So they'll take some antibiotic, they'll take some cetirizine, some antihistamine, and then 2 months later, here we are, the condition has deteriorated, they need to be on oxygen, they have high fevers, they're coughing blood, and at that point, it's almost very certain that the mortality is high, that they die in about 2-3 days. Yes, and then now the gastrointestinal form, that one is where when you consume the infected meat, you consume, and people say, no, we boiled it, no. It's better safe to just discard. If this meat you suspect that it's infected, just discard, don't eat it. So, and in the gastrointestinal form, you have abdominal pains, your stomach is paining, you may also have some joint pains, you may have nausea, and people vomit blood when they're having this, and diarrhea as well. And this one as well, it's hard to suspect that you have anthrax because, it could mimic another diarrhea disease. But if you have this positive history of having consumed this meat, which is suspicious. In 1 to, you eat the meat today, the next day, or in the period of 1 to 7 days, you appear with these symptoms, you're vomiting.
That type of anthrax is internal?
It's in the gastrointestinal, your intestines, yes.
Okay, great.
So, because what it does is it creates ulcers, right from the mouth to the esophagus, the stomach, and those are the ulcers that bring about the pain. And when you vomit, there's blood. Your diarrhea as well. You got joint pains. It's quite something that needs to have public awareness, and so that people just need to orient themselves and know what it is, so that they can take care of themselves. So then there's treatment. Treatment does actually exist.
I was about to ask about the treatment.
Yes, treatment does actually exist. And what I always encourage my patients is that it's important to come to a medical facility the moment you have symptoms, the moment that you suspect, you should get seen, so that they tell you, they do some tests and rule out, like, is it what it is or it isn't what it is, so that you can save a life.
Okay.
And so it's just antibiotics that we treat 7 to 10 days. Antibiotics, if it's on the skin, if it's in your intestine, you can just give antibiotics. The one that you worry about is if you inhaled it, because then at that point you would need some steroids as well on top of the antibiotics. You need to get admitted. Drips, longer duration stay in the hospital, and longer antibiotic treatment. But the treatment does exist, and what's important to know is that you need to, if you live on a farm, you need to immunize your livestock.
Animals.
Immunize your livestock. If you're a veterinary, you handle animals here and there. There is a vaccine that does exist.
For animals.
For human beings, it does exist for human beings, where there's a calendar where you can take about 5 of them.
Is that medicine coming from the veterinary or a doctor?
The veterinary doctor. The doctor who looks after the animals, because they're exposed, they handle this and that. They are high risk individuals, so there does exist a vaccine for them.
Oh, really?
So that they can protect themselves.
Speaking of vaccine, what are the measures of prevention? Away from just that, but how can someone avoid that? Because you said boiling it is not as effective. So in short, how do we avoid it?
There
How
is
do
an
we
argument.
prevent?
There is an argument out there that if you boil for a certain number of minutes, hours, and at a certain temperature, you could kill it. You could sterilize your meat. But then it's still a risk. Personally.
Can you dry age it?
I beg your pardon?
Can you dry age it?
Like drying food.
Yeah, like drying the meat.
You could dry the meat, but you don't kill the germs. Because remember I said that they are spores, right? They are spores, and then the bacteria produces spores. And if you go back to your microbiology, that spores are resistant. They're resistant in nature. They can withstand all manner of climate change. But I want to go back to what you said about what you asked about prevention. So it's important to practice good hygiene measures, like sanitize your hands, wash your hands anytime you go out the house. Just normal hygiene measures. And also, if you live in an area where it's high risk, say you live on a farm, it's important to just, before you consume this meat, ensure that it's healthy. Ensure that your cattle, your livestock is immunized.
Awesome.
And they've got their boosters, so that they have active so that they have strong active immunity altogether. Yes.
Mr. Mufasa,
Hey,
have you gotten one or two words?
hey. I have
Preventive measures.
measures of prevention, what it is, what to do in case something like that happens. I think I'm ready.
Did she
Yes.
explain it in a layman's?
She
Yes.
did. She
Okay.
did. She
I
did.
think it
and
was
you know,
loud
from
and
that,
clear.
yeah, it's easy. It's
I
easy
think
to.
it was loud and clear. And so, do you have any nuggets that you'd like to share with our audience as we come to the end of this video?
With me too, and her also.
Yes. As we come to the end, as we wrap this program
Yes.
up.
Okay.
Yes.
To the audience,
Right.
it doesn't matter the size of your business.
Yep.
It doesn't matter. As long as you have a business that's running, you need your marketing, come and get it. You know where we are. Please feel free to reach out to any of us. We will help you.
Link in the
And,
description.
tell them please how they can find you online.
All right. You can find me online. My socials are FasaVO. That's everywhere. Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, everywhere. Twitter
X.
as well.
Awesome.
X
Twitter
now.
as well,
X.
yeah.
Twitter's now X.
So we're also
exactly.
gonna include your link in the description of this video.
Thank you.
Yeah. So
All
that people
right.
can reach out to you.
So basically that in nuggets to the team,
yes.
we are really on to something, and I think we should keep on doing what we are doing because the audience is loyal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's been such a pleasure. Thank you so much. We really
you.
thank you for coming onto this program, and we look forward to more collaborations with you. And so, yeah, we've come to the end of our program. We hope that you've learned a thing or two. Please do leave us a comment, message, share this video with a friend, a family member,
Subscribe
a
to
colleague.
our YouTube.
Definitely do subscribe to all of our platforms so that you can stay up to date. When we upload, you can get notifications and catch up and get up to speed with what we have prepared for you. And so it's goodbye from us.
Goodbye.